Hey everybody, Dogbert here, back in DC Worlds Collide. With thanks to Elseworld, we have our first look at Dr. Fate already, even before we can get him. So he was in my Elseworld today, so I got to bring him in and get to start to play with him. Not the greatest team for Elseworld here, but this is the first note. I did have some problems. Didn't really know what Dr. Fate does. Didn't really know his character bio right away. Just moving around the ultimates there. So we get to see is I put him in first. Like I said, it was just taking a guess. I wanted to see what he would do. And we got to see his ultimate right away. He does. He's more as an AoE damage dealer, like a Constantine, but a legendary version. And we get past the first Elseworld, no problem. We even get to see his little end screen. They also, with this patch, I didn't notice until I got into Elseworld that they redid the buff screen. It's much cleaner now, much nicer looking, I think. Second battle with him. He does do quite a bit of damage. I did have some problems in this Elseworld today. Just didn't have very good characters all the time. I didn't have ultimates lined up all right. But I did get through it. And here we go again with the ultimate. You can see he does a bunch of damage as he knocks them down pretty well. Green arrow goes and this fight's over. And you can see the damage. He was the #1 damage dealer by more than double over even Green Arrow. Get my buff. Don't need a second Dr. Fate, so I just took a Mr. Freeze. I brought in Mr. Freeze on this battle. This is where I start having some trouble. This was just a team I had trouble with for some reason. I think I also noticed that they have changed Bane's buff icon. He actually has a little Bane symbol over him now. Here goes Fate. And there he goes down. I mean, this... I don't know why I had so much trouble. Maybe because of Pandora for Barrier and Superboy in this one, but... I had to go and heal up my characters with the adrenaline. Not like we get one of those a day anyway. As you can see, I've been saving them up. You can always buy more in one of the stores as well, but I never had a need to. So I switched around the ultimate order. We did get rid of Grodd though, and I moved my tanks around. I really want Bane being the main left tank and Freeze on the right. There goes Green Arrow, he does some damage. Bane was actually able to stun Huntress, so that's good. And Fate takes the rest of them out. Moving up. Click another buff. Collect a reinforcement. They got the best tank in the game, Luthor, a legendary Lex Luthor. Take a look at the teams I could go against. There's this one. So this is a pretty even matchup, only 4k more power. Bringing Luthor in now. And I wanted to get Mr. Freeze in there. And moving around the ultimate order. Here we go. So if you don't have the legendary Lex Luthor, which probably most people don't, he puts a big shield around everybody. That's what makes him such the best tank in the game right now. There comes Fate again for his big attack. It seems on his basic attack he does a 3-shot, which we'll see. We can actually see his moves already inside the gallery. Goes Green Arrow. Get power past the tanks now. Big hit from Fate. As you can see, Green Arrow is actually out damaging Fate there because of his ultimate going first before Fate. But Green Arrow does put out a lot of damage anyway, even rivaling Constantine at some points. So I get some more rewards, more buffs. Another character. Didn't really matter, I just took Huntress. I find it kind of funny how they let us have Dr. Fate already in Elseworld, yet they're trying to be secretive kind of in the game, like with the little event that gives us some diamonds, like who's the next character, and they've already announced it on Discord and Facebook, and now this on top of it's already in the bio set, the gallery section, or whatever that's called, where you can see the different characters. See, Fate just doing a ton of damage. So he is going to be, it looks like a good legendary character. I imagine if I had Constantine with him, it would be incredible damage output. Pandora saving Luthor there, even though we lost Freeze. Freeze does get better at higher ranks. I think the ranks in here is only 6 or 1 red. It might be 2 red at most, but Freeze needs to be 3 red to be his most effective self. So another buff. Taking a look at my choices. We can actually go against a fate here. And I gotta replace freeze. I bring back Bane. Need a damage dealer. My only choice is a Huntress or a Huntress, really. Swap around that ultimate order. I don't usually use Huntress too often, but she's one of those only a 2 energy ultimate, or 2 power ultimate. I forget what the correct term is. The Zoro's already down. Here comes Fate with the big hit. But these are quite stronger characters. Of course, as you've read through Elseworld, they get stronger and stronger. Getting shielded by Luther there. There's the big hit from their Fate. Just trying to get through their Bane. Another big hit from my Fate. That got us through the Bane. And we got past this level. Or stage, whatever. See Dr. Fate doing a ton of damage compared to everybody else. We're talking more, almost 3 times more, if not 3 times more. I'm not doing math in my head. Another crappy buff. The buff's a buff. Reinforcement. Took Damien. Ended up getting a double rewards. I got another reinforcement after this. In which case it was a no-brainer to take Wonder Woman. And the final stage. I had to readjust the ultimate for Wonder Woman. So we could go against a Wonder Woman, a Grodd, Nightwing, Superboy, and Firestorm. Another big hit from Fate, does a ton of damage. Wonder Woman's ultimate, doing a bunch of damage as well. And Fate just takes him out with a really big hit there at the end. Finishing up this Elseworld. So if we look back here in the character files, you can actually see Dr. Fate. You can read a little bit about him. You can't see the bio though. So you see, unless you obtain him, you can't see him, but we can see his skills. We can see his tag, the Sacrifice Shield. Damage to all of life to obviously an intellect or a blue character. You can see here's the Key of Life or his ultimate. Sacrificing 10% of all the other allies' hit points. In other words, you're going to want somebody to heal. And he gets to deal 550% attack power. And the damage goes across all the enemies, so that's why he's doing such big things. He also gets to add Weaken to them, which is like a defense down, if you're familiar with Marvel Strike Force. You see as the levels increase, he goes all the way up to 700%. His basic, he attacks 3 times with this, 30%, 30%, and then 60% at the base level. He can go way up to 36, 36, 72, and he also can get strong attack at level 2. That's essentially offense up. Ancient Power, imagine this is his stunt, because it has an initial cooldown of 1 round. Attacks an enemy with the lowest proportion of hit points, dealing power damage equal to 107% attack power and gaining 20% life steal. This allows him to heal, essentially. Goes up with 30% at level 3. His Ankh ability. This is just kind of a passive for each ally with a proportion of hit points lower than 60% during battle, increases his own attack power by 9%. I'm not sure if this is a passive ability or if this is going to be a tactical renaissance or if legendaries get multiple passives, because we look at here when an ally casts an ultimate while their proportion of hit point is lower than 60%, grants them a shield that can absorb damage equal to 100% of attack power for 2 rounds. This could be useful for high attack power tanks, like a Bane, for instance. So that's our first look at Dr. Fate in DC Worlds Collide. I hope this was informative, and I'll see you next time.